Da-da-da! Game 5, and it's one of these games where piles evaporate, but you have to build an engine still, right? Talisman is on board for plus gain of 3s and 4s, and you know what they have for 3s and 4s? Fishing Village, Watchtower, Ranger, Wishing Well, Guide is not bad, Scavenger is okay. So Talisman I think is worth it. You build the engine, and you tell Seahag to go, not Seahag, Young Witch to go suck it. Watchtower is the Bane, and I think the game is just going to go too fast for Young Witch to matter that much, really. I think I will open with the Talisman and a plan. I believe I'll put the plan on the fishing villages, so every time I buy a fishing village, going to trash hopefully an estate from my deck. If the Young Witch puts a curse in, I can get it out that away. So that's my plan, and this draw in Ranger is draw in Watchtower as well. Wishing Well is draw if you could get it right. So my opponent goes for the Young Witch. I was happy about that. Like I said, I think the game is going to go too fast for Young Witch to do anything. And not only that, Watchtower is the Bane. You want a Watchtower on this board. You want multiple Watchtowers. It's fine. So my opponent goes with the Young Witch and plan. I go with the Talisman and the plan here on the fishing villages. My opponent now goes for a fishing village, trashing something, and I have 3 with a Talisman. That is the easiest fishing village buy I have seen in a long time. Well, that's what I thought, right? Maybe it should have been Watchtowers against the Witch. Maybe it should have been Wishing Wells, but I mean, I like the fishing village. Fishing village is important, being the only village on the board. So I figured that split would be important. Winning that split means you're in a good position. You can build more than your opponent then. So now I do pick up the Watchtower to try and block the Witch. And look, woohoo! Watchtower in the dance, blocking the Witch. Now there is some consideration here of using it as a Bane or using it as a Watchtower. I choose to use it as a Watchtower because I want to empty the curse pile so that the Young Witch doesn't hurt me as much, because I want to play without the Young Witch. So if there's no curses, then the Young Witch can 100% of the time do nothing to me. So that's why I opt to burn the curses there, but you could equivalently keep the curses in the pile, particularly if you have a Young Witch of your own, so that you can put them into your opponent's decks rather than in the bin. So there you go. Here my opponent does pick up the Talisman on the first shuffle here and has it now, obviously. As you can see, there's the Talisman at the end of all the coppers, in case you didn't know what the Talisman was. Okay, right, so I think on this Talisman buy they pick up a couple of Watchtowers here. Yes, they do pick up a couple of Watchtowers, and in response I buy a Young Witch, because that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I bought the Young Witch. Well, okay, I know why I bought the Young Witch. It cycles, not cycles, it'll get me forward in my deck a bit, and it works well with the Watchtower in terms of draw. And I might sink a curse in. I don't really care about sinking the curse. If I cared about draw that much, maybe I should have just picked up a Ranger there, right? But instead I went for the Young Witch. Kind of a sketchy buy, especially that I said at the beginning. It isn't going to be that much of a factor. I think the game is going to go too fast. The fishing villages are going to run out. Rangers I expect to run out, and wells just will die. Because there's also Horn of Plenty. I haven't mentioned that, but there is also Horn of Plenty, so that is gaining as well. So the piles will evaporate in this game much before the Young Witch could sink all 10 curses somewhere. So here my opponent goes for a Ranger. So that's the first Ranger the game bought here, and I buy the last fishing village. Now I've been checking, and I've won this fishing village split 6-4. So I feel like I'm in a good position. However, my opponent has this turn here, which is actually very good. Lining that Ranger up with the Talisman means well, ideally you could have gone for like double fishing village, double Ranger. There's no more fishing villages. but there's wishing well. So you could go for double ranger and double wishing well, and I think you're in excellent position after those 4 gains. So there you see the double wishing well, and I believe you do see the double ranger after this. I don't have a ranger yet. I have no rangers yet. My opponent has already turned their token face down. So this thing here with the young witch is what I was saying. It could reduce your hand size and then make watchtower draw a lot. There my opponent uses the watchtower as a bane as opposed to just burning the curse. For I don't know why. I know why I want to burn the curses. I don't know why they want to keep the curses in their deck. I mean, they have the extra watchtower, so they could be more defended than me, so maybe that's why. Anyways, I have 8 and the talisman. Time for ranger, because I have a lot of cash there and I can't make full use of the talisman. If I had a buy, yeah, that was quadruple ranger in a heartbeat, I feel. So now my opponent has this turn, getting the rangers activated here and drawing through till the end of their deck. And they do have the second watchtower in hand, I believe. So what is going to happen here is a lot of money is going to be played. 12, I believe, with the 4 fishing villages. It's going to be a Horn of Plenty, not top decked, leaving 7 left over, and the same 7 I think is again double ranger top decked and double wishing well top decked. So I mean, yeah, they have 2 wishing wells and 2 rangers at the top of their deck, plus fishing villages in play. They're gonna kick off next turn for sure here, and I'm just looking a little bit, outpaced here suddenly. I'm not really sure where this went wrong for me, but it did. It did. I think it is the earlier purchase of the ranger for my opponent that did the trick. I mean, yeah, they had a good turn with it with the talisman when they did buy it, but they picked it up earlier than I did, and I had the opportunity to. I could have gone for that over the young witch. This is just a horn for me, but I wasn't watching the piles. That should have been our province because I don't get to play another turn after this. My opponent kicks off and is able to draw quite a bit of cards and is able to finish the game here. Using the watchtower to burn all the curses they would gain. And I help here, I guess. I wasn't even thinking. I just burn that curse, but they buy a bunch of curses and burn it with the watchtower and use the talisman to pick up the remaining rangers. So that's how game 5 ends. I'm not really sure where it went wrong for me. I thought winning the fishing village split was a good thing and it would mean that put me in a good position to win the game. My opponent did the correct thing. I mean, if you're in the back with just 4 fishing villages, you need to finish that game as soon as possible because longer game favors me. So I believe the turning point was the ranger, honestly. Picking up the ranger before me really just catapulted them into such a good position. The 2 watchtowers also did some work, but I really feel it was the ranger that did it. That just left me, in the dust here, like literally in the dust. I was just so far behind in a couple turns, or seemingly a couple turns. But yeah, I feel like there's a few subtle points about this game that would be worth taking note of. Alright, see you in the next one.